Nobody likes a messy shop, but everybody has one. There are 27 outlets in here. It is currently freezing rain that's coming down. It really, really sucks when shit goes wrong. Hey guys, welcome back to Rock Hard Ranch. In today's video, I am going to show you guys some big shop updates. But first off, if you're new here, we are Rock Hard Ranch, where we just focus on keeping agriculture alive. We have a small cow-calf pair cattle operation. We're just trying to grow our herd one set of hooves at a time. We have a small herd of goats and I have a couple piggies. So anyway, let's get started. It is currently freezing rain that's coming down, and my dad and my husband are coming home from a cattle sale with an empty trailer, which is fine that it's empty, but it like makes things a little bit more dicey as far as driving goes. It is literally freezing rain coming down. I walked outside and it was slippery on our sidewalk. Yuck. Well, anywho, today I want to show you guys some big shop updates. Not because I want to brag about our shop, even though I'm very proud of it, but because I want to show you guys what we did so you can gain ideas if you're building a shop, planning on building a shop in 2024, want some ideas to upgrade your shop and all of those things. So we're just going to do a rundown really quick. Our shop is gosh, now I have to think about it. It's 42 wide from corner to corner here and 48 long. Part of this shop is heated, so 30 feet of this front and then by 48 wide is heated, and there's a concrete slab in there. And then this side is a 12-foot lean, and that is for my goats and my piggies, even though my goats are not in there quite yet. Piggies are in there. We will go in there in a little bit. But first things first, you see that right there? Do you see that? That means we have power in here. It has been a while since I have showed this shop. I think the last time I showed it, it was just framed out, the tin was on it. I don't think there was any insulation in it, but now we've got some big things happening inside. Hey, let's get to it. Hi, buddy. Okay, first things first, you guys. Haha. Power. We have power in here. Let's talk about that situation first. Actually, no, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the shop, like structure itself. So our shop is lined with liner tin through the company that we got the shop built through. We were not originally going to put tin in here because it was going to cost us a lot of money. Too much money that we just did not want to spend on doing tin. However, one thing that we found out is that we talked to some of the workers that worked for this company, and then they work on the side. So we were able to hire out one of the guys that came and helped put up our shop to come and help EJ do the liner tin on the inside. The ceiling, the walls, all of it. He came, it took like 2.5, 3 days to get it all done, but this was definitely well worth it. To be able to have the inside tinned is huge. I mean, it looks nicer. Aesthetically, it looks nicer, but it's a lot brighter in here. So this is bright white tin. And what we learned when we were building a shop is like no white is the same. So that was kind of interesting. This tin, unfortunately, because it was bright white and not just white, was like a little bit more in cost. However, we saved ourselves, I'm not kidding you, tens of thousands of dollars by hiring out the one guy that worked for the company to come on the side and help us do the tin on the inside. And the company, by the way, was completely fine with it. They were completely fine with that guy coming and helping. They just said, make sure he shows up to work on Monday morning and don't hurt him. So that worked really well. The only kind of bummer thing about it is that there's a couple spots that aren't done, and I'll show those to you guys. But this is a huge shop update. It is insulated with, I want to say it's R21. Yeah, it's R21 because initially it was going to be R19. It's R21 insulation, like batt insulation in the walls. And then it all worked perfectly. So I'm going to show you guys the spots that were kind of a bummer, but overall this is a huge benefit. Because like we kind of did it ourselves with the help of one of the people. This is just kind of one of the seams that, I mean, it really doesn't bother us that much, but the way the tin lined up, It's just not completely perfect. And then the other thing is our door in here was installed before the liner tin. So then up above the door is not finished. And I don't know that we're ever really gonna be finishing it, to be honest with you, because you have to take off the door, and doors are tedious and we don't really wanna, do that because they're hard enough to install the first time when there's a blank slate, and then having to take it off and then put it back on over the tin is just kind of probably going to be a hassle. So we'll see if that ever occurs. But overall, huge update with the tin on the inside. It was definitely worth asking to see if that was a possibility through this company. And if you're thinking about doing liner tin on the inside of your shop, definitely weigh your options, but it's very nice. Let's move on to electrical. And one thing that we were really wanting to do when we built the shop is have enough outlets. We have learned through family members who have shops, through ourselves putting power in our cold storage shed and then our barn, that you can never have enough outlets. So remember I said that this is a 30 by 48 shop. There are 27 outlets in here. 27 outlet boxes. They line all the walls, follows the pattern all along the walls. We did not want to run into a situation where we needed power in a spot and we couldn't get it, weren't going to have enough power for it, whatever. There are 27 outlets in this shop, and each side of the shop is on a different circuit. So we will never run out of power. We will never blow breakers. Definitely something to think about when you're building a shop is making sure that you have enough power and you have enough accessible power. So when we put these up, they're at about 5 feet. It's about 5 feet off the wall, off the floor. And then as you can see, starting at the door, they go all the way along the wall. Same thing on the other side. We'll walk over, we'll go from the breaker box. So from the breaker box all the way down the wall, and then even, you can see it, they're across the back wall too. A super plus when building a shop, because you can just never have enough outlets. You can never have enough power source, and it's always gonna benefit you. With power comes heat. We have a propane heater that heats our whole shop. There's a propane tank out back behind the shop back there. Keeping it at a balmy 60 degrees right now. Very convenient. This was one of the main reasons that we even wanted a shop in the first place, was to be able to have a heated area to keep tractor and skid steer, because it has been 7 years-ish since we've lived here, and we did not have a heated area to keep both of these things. And although that's not necessary, it really sucks when shit goes wrong. There's been plenty of hoses that have blown on the skid steer. We've had plenty of tractor problems. We've had plenty of problems getting machinery to start in the winter. It gets cold here, like -30 degrees plus a wind chill. It gets very cold here. So having heat in here is very beneficial. I would definitely recommend looking at your options if you're putting up a shop, thinking about putting up a shop, to be able to keep your heavy hitters on your farm inside. The whole purpose of even getting a shop was to keep these 2 items inside. Plus there's enough room in here to be able to put both of our trucks. So if need be, they can both fit in here too. And in the back, we also have the 0-turn lawnmower, which we can keep out of the elements, just a little bit nicer in here. The next obvious update is the lights. The lights are so nice. So you can see that we had some string lights hanging, which were very helpful before we got the power installed and then got these lights installed. One of the main things when we were looking at lighting is I said that it needs to be bright in here. We have plenty of experience with our barn not being bright enough, our other shop not being bright enough, family members who are like, yeah, we wish we would have put more lights in, and their shops are dim. They've had to cut and splice conduit to add more sockets and more lighting to their own shops at their houses, and it's just a mess. So I told EJ, I'm like, whatever we do, make sure that it's very bright in here, and it is very, very well lit. With that being said, these are 8-foot lights that we got from Lowe's. So there's 4 lights on each side. They're LED lights, and they have multiple settings on them, so you could do like daylight or warm light. We have them on daylight, and they are dimmable or have different light settings on them. So I think you can adjust it from 6,000 to 10,000 lumens. We have it on the brightest for all of them, and it's really nice. It's really nice to work in here. You walk in, you don't have really any issue with like too much shadowing or anything like that. You can see in the corners, there's a little bit of shadowing, which doesn't really matter. And that's the only thing that I would warn people about is placement of these and making sure that you have enough of them. Because when we first got them, we just like hooked one up to see how bright it was gonna be. And it was bright, but it cast a lot of shadows. Granted, we didn't have it like suspended from the ceiling. We were just looking at it on the ground, but it cast a lot of shadows. So making sure that you have enough light to get rid of shadows in your working area was really, really important, and that's definitely something to think about. We will be adding another 1 or 2 up above that seam, just because that is where our toolboxes are probably gonna go and workbench is probably gonna go. And I told EJ that I don't want any shadows over there when he's working, when I'm working. I wanna be able to have separate lights connected to the breaker box off a switch up above this area, so that if he's working on something that's tedious or needs a little bit of attention, he can flip those lights on and he has the extra light that he needs without the shadow. Because as you can see, like I said in the corners, I mean, there is a little bit of shadowing. So having that extra light in that area where we're working will be really, really huge. We have one of the lights that's gonna go above there. That's just still in the box, we haven't put it up yet. So this is the light that we got, so you can see if you wanted to get it, you know, for yourself in your own shop, something similar to it. But definitely a good buy. They're a little bit expensive. I wanna say they were about $100 a piece. We got a little bit of a discount because when you buy so many, you get a bulk discount. But I think these are worth it compared to putting up like light sockets. Because these lights are way brighter than the string lights. And I think there's 75-watt bulbs in those string lights. So these lights are definitely a lot brighter. We would have had to put a lot of light sockets up to be able to get this same amount of brightness in here. Nobody likes a messy shop, but everybody has one. So we thought it was really important to have a good storage system. And that's the next update I want to talk about is this racking that we got. This is heavy duty racking that we got from Menards. I can't even tell you what like height it is. We bought 2 5-tier systems to make this layout, which was on the like display in the store. But having nice racking to be able to stack your shit so it's not just laying everywhere, perfect. We obviously haven't added a lot of stuff to it yet because we're still moving things out of our garage that's connected to our house into here, but it's really nice to have really sturdy racking to be able to put heavier items. Like for instance, we have the portable table saw and a little scroll saw there and garden hoses, and we picked up some of these bins. These are Husky bins from Home Depot that double stack here. You just got just a shit ton of nuts and bolts and just pipe fittings and clamps and clips and screws and all kinds of stuff that we wanted to be able to organize nicely, because really right now we don't have any sort of system for it. So over time we're just going to collect these bins to be able to put them in and just keep them organized, so if we need something in a pinch, we can literally walk right over and grab it. And there's no searching for it. There's no searching through bags. no going through 3 different areas to look for it. It's all gonna be in one spot. Definitely key. The other thing with this racking that I wanna show you guys is we have a lot of bottles of like oil and paint and like ether and like diesel 911 and stuff like that, that we want it all in one area. So we picked up a second section. We bought these pieces all separate. This is a 4-foot section of racking, and we bought wood for the shelves to put all of our like liquid material in. Nothing's been moved over here yet, but it's gonna be very handy to have all of our like spray paint and all of that stuff over in one area, easily accessible, nice and tidy. We're looking at different like mats to put in here, like little trays, almost like the bottom of like dog kennel, the liners for dog kennels, to be able to put on these, so if something does spill, it doesn't go all over the wood, all over the floor, all over everywhere. But this was a little section that we thought was really important for us to be able to organize all of our items that were liquid and keep them all in one spot and get them out of the elements, because like I said, up until this point, we haven't had anything heated, so if something had to be heated, it went in our house. It was in my basement. I kid you not, the pressure washer, I don't know where it's at in here, but it lived in our house, in our entryway for all last winter. And now we finally have a shop to keep it in where it's warm and it won't freeze. Okay, so I think those are all the big updates inside the shop. The power, the lights, the heat. The heat is key. The liner tin, the organization with the racking, all of those things are the big updates. And like I said, the last time that I showed you guys the shop, it was just framed out, like exterior tin walls. There was no ceiling in it, there was nothing. It was all just like frame with exterior tin. So we've come a long way. It's taken a long time, but we've come a long way. This whole process to get to this point, I should say from the last video to this video, has been like 2 to 3 months, maybe even a little bit longer. So it's taken a long time to get to this point. It definitely did not happen overnight. And when we first started even thinking about building this shop, we started like last February, March. So it's been definitely like 9-10 months to even get to here. Oh, I do have one more big update for you guys. We have water in here. So we'll use this update as the precursor to show you guys the outside. So we have water coming in right over there from our pump house. It comes in and it goes along the floor and then comes up to a faucet in here. So there's a faucet that we're eventually gonna put a sink by, and the only thing with that is that we don't have a drain. We didn't plumb in a drain to be able to go to the center drain in the floor. Like, we're gonna have to put a hose to drain it out. But really the whole purpose of that was to be able to rinse like our hands really quick, fill a water bucket to like, I don't know, maybe wash out the tractor, something like that real quick, to see, just to have water in here. I use it to feed the pigs. But yeah, that's really huge too, is the ability to have water in the shop, which we thought was important because sometimes we might have animals in here. There might be a calf in here at some point. We're kind of toying with the idea of putting a like a hot water heater in here, or the ability to have hot water in here. So if there's a calf in here, or there is something in here, we can mix up a bottle. EJ would really love to be able to rinse off his truck, rinse off his tractor. So having hot water available to put in a bucket to like wash off any of the mud and manure and snow, like salt and grime and stuff like that would be really big. So we're still kind of just figuring out all the details of that, but even just having water in here is really nice. And then with that being said, we'll go outside because the water goes outside too. Oops, lady. Okay, so it's a little bit darker out here because we're not quite done on this side, but we have a faucet for water out here as well. And this is the one that I use for my pigs every day. But it's really nice to have water so accessible because my pens are literally right in here. So it's very convenient. Okay, let's start on the outside of the lean. So like I said, this is 12 feet by 48 feet. There is a 8-foot roll-up door here, which is big enough for us to get our skid steer through to be able to clean out when that time comes for the manure and the goat poop and straw and hay and all that stuff in the spring once the goats get moved in here. The goats are not in here yet because it's been an exceptionally mild winter. We made these goat pens. The boys will go in this first pen, the girls go in the pen in the back. I did make a video that talks a little bit more in depth about the goat pens and how we did it, so you can check that out. It's a few videos back. We have power to this side, which is new in the last week. I don't have a ton of outlets in here yet. It's gonna match the pattern on the inside. So far there's 3 outlets, and I think there's gonna be 3 more over on the other side of the door there. And I believe we are also gonna be putting like sporadic outlets on the posts as well. That is more to come with those because I don't have the details all hashed out yet. Let's see here. The piggy pen, which I just updated today, I made it a little bit bigger for them. It was only like this square, and I added another kennel to it for them. They like it. They like being able to roam around. They are escape artists though. If I were to open this kennel door up, they would be out that door in a scurry. They're funny little guys. These are boot trays that I got from Home Depot, and I put wood shavings in them and they poop and pee in them. So it really saves on the dirt, the class 5 that we put in here. One thing that I wish we would have done is put a concrete slab in here, but it just wasn't in the budget and it was expensive and I didn't want to do it. Now looking back, I wish I would have just splurged and done it because it would have made cleanup a lot easier in here, but whatever, you live and learn. So anyway, we're trying to save the dirt in here from the stinky piggies by using the boot trays with the shavings. And actually it's funny because they really do poop and pee in them. They're pretty smart little piggies. They're 2 little pot bellies, 2 little boys. They are neutered, so they're nice little guys, Popcorn and Jelly Bean. But they got a new home today. They have a heat lamp, and yeah, they got a nice new pen. The last shop update that I have for you guys is purely aesthetic, and they're super duper cute. So we have 2 goat doors on like either side of the pen, so like boy pen, girl pen, and those were just openings, and EJ built little barn doors for them that are super duper cute and functional. So he wanted to get them on there this year. They've been up, like I said, for like probably a couple months because that's the last time I even talked about the shop at all. But this is the same latch system that we have inside on all the goat pens, and anyway, it just keeps the elements out. It allows me to shut the doors if we're getting some kind of a storm, want to keep them in. Snow, wind, rain, sleet, I don't know, whatever. And then on the inside of the door too, we have another door, which I have like a 4-foot gate. So if I wanted to keep this door open, but keep them inside of the barn, I could just shut that gate on the inside, and then they can stay in, but still get some air. I don't know that I can open this. Okay, it's frozen. So to show you, so see where if I wanted to keep this open so they get some fresh air, I can always shut this gate so they still can't come out if I wanted them to stay in. Latch system works super well. Got these from Home Depot. Definitely worth it. If you look back at my DIY goat pen video, I'll show you how we use them inside the barn to make the goat pens and make them completely removable, which makes it very easy to clean the pens. All right, you guys, those are all the updates that I have for you. Those are some big updates. We haven't talked in a while. I haven't been on here for a while. It's been a hot minute. It's been, I bet, a month since I've even been on here. But again, I just wanted to show you these updates. So in case you are looking at building a shop, thinking about ideas for your future shop, want to upgrade your current shop, that's what we did. That's what I like, what I don't like about it, what maybe we would have done differently, all the things. I wish we would have had a resource kind of like this when we were building our shop, because maybe we would have done a few things differently. We did a lot of research, but like it only goes so far. You can never know enough. So anyway, with that being said, please like and subscribe to our channel, and make sure you guys keep ag alive. See you next time, guys. Bye.